so great seeing everybody. Oh my God.
Are we on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're on.
Amanda.
We're on.
Okay.
Center, look.
Mike is hot.
Yeah.
Now we begin our interpretive dance. We've been practicing.
Thank you, guys. So I am not Gen X, if you can't tell, but I know and admire so many Gen X women and Boomer women, including the people on this stage with me right now. So thank you for letting this millennial crash this party. So to start, I just want to start by saying that, of course, we know that the beauty industry has had an obsession with youth. The Gen Alpha craze of the last year, just the latest iteration of that obsession. But for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So as some brands are aging down, others are recognizing the opportunity to garner the attention of two of the most powerful consumer groups in beauty, and that have long been hiding in plain sight, and that is Gen X and Boomers. So here's just some quick stats. Gen X spends $279 billion per year on beauty, with this figure projected to grow to $430 billion over the next 10 years. And Boomers' beauty spending is expected to reach $8 billion between 2024 and 2034. So that's a lot of money. These consumers control an enormous share of discretionary spending. They have decades of category experience, and they often show stronger brand loyalty than younger shoppers who prefer experimentation. So, and perhaps most importantly, they have a really strong sense of identity. They know who they are and what they like, and they reward the brands that recognize that and treat them with respect rather than trying to infantilize them. Yeah. So today we'll unpack what this consumer actually wants from beauty brands, how and why the industry tends to get it wrong when trying to reach them, and the massive opportunity in this market for brands that can capture this consumer. So let's get started. This cohort of 45 plus consumers has always existed, but Gen X also has ushered in this cultural shift in which framing them solely through the lens of aging is just not how they see themselves. So for all of you, how has Gen X changed the narrative around aging, and what makes this cohort tick? Laura, let's start with you.
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, I can start right in. I think that everybody would agree that we know as we get older, I'm not Gen X, I'm baby boomer, just saying. Do we have any other baby boomers in this building here? Just saying.
Yeah.
Often overlooked. But I will tell you that, like, for me, for as long as I'm in this business, and some of you in this room have been with me, 30, 40 years. But I'm going to tell you that we have been overlooked, and the big difference is for us is that beside the disposable income, beside the fact that we know what we want, beside the fact that we lost our filter and we don't give a shit, I'm going to just say that now we are represented and we are spending the money. I mean, if you're not on this gravy train, you're crazy. And so when we leaned in, our company leaned in like 5 years ago, and we made a pivot. We always talk to women over 50. We say over 40, but it's really over 50. But now when we leaned in, the whole brand changed. And I was waiting for that moment because, listen, it gets better later. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Erica,
Yeah.
what about you?
So what has changed with Gen X, you think? You know, we're cool.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, we're not going down without a fight. You know, we're not like the Golden Girls. I think about, I'm gonna be 50, and the Golden Girls were my age. Yeah. I'm not running around with like bat wing sweaters. You know what I mean? So I just think that when I started this, I was 45, and I was like, I wanted someone to speak to us in a cool way, right? Not you're a, no, you know, you can't wear shimmers anymore, and you're gonna put on those, take your high heels off, wear your dress in your ladylike clothes, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, we can do all the things, but we have to do it different. Because a lot of the brands, you know, and a lot of the younger makeup artists out there are teaching makeup, but you know what they're wearing? Youth. It's different.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Our skin's different. We can still do all the things. We can still, but we do have to do it a little bit different. And nobody was teaching us how, because we all learned together somewhere in a mall. Whether it was Lancome, Clinique 123, you learned to do the V, you know, at the Chanel counter, and the light, the dark, the light, and we all did the same thing. that you learned from your friend in the bathroom.
That's it.
So nobody taught us since then. So now we're doing the old makeup on a different face, right? A new face, better face, evolving. And I just feel like brands were not speaking to us. They were trying to like box us into Elizabeth Arden or like, I don't want the 8-hour cream. Sorry if you're here, but I do love some of your stuff.
Yeah.
But but we're cool. And I think brands were forgetting about us, and every model, which I know you have spoken about, that's every model is younger, everyone in the campaigns is younger, and we're not. So who's talking to us?
That's right.
Sarah,
That's it.
what do you think?
Well, I'm trying to talk to
Yeah, you got
us.
this.
You know, I think that the expectation of Gen X has gotten really loud. And I'm so happy that all of the women are showing up. I launched like 18 months ago, and I just think that they're like, thank you, like, yeah, we're here and we love beauty. And that's really what I want, is for women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, to just love beauty as much as they loved it in their 20s. So, and I think they're showing up, they're ready for it.
Were you not the first that actually said on the gondola in Sephora, specifically for over 40s?
Yeah, formulated for
Babes.
babes 40 plus.
Not ladies,
Which is
babes.
just a mindset. Babes is a mindset. Can be anyone, But yeah, for 40 plus.
So Laura Geller, you've been around for nearly 30 years, and it's a brand that has really grown with its customers. That's not a given in beauty. I think we all know brands that were once synonymous with generation that have now fallen out of step with that generation. So how have you considered this and evolved your brand with that consumer over time?
I really think it's because I'm obsessed with my customer. I'm obsessed. They're my friends, and I care to the degree that I listen to everything they say. I am like reading the reviews like a maniac. I'm listening. I'm getting the DMs. They send me things of lips and stuff like that. I collect lips. So they're all my friends. They really are. And I feel like when I built this brand, I don't know if I'm answering your question. I don't want to abandon them, which is why I'm still around. And as long as I can be around, I'm going to be around. And sometimes at night, even though the owners of my company are in the room, they don't know this, but
Spill.
I go on the reviews and I read their DMs and then I write them back if they haven't, because we have teams that do that. But then I want them to hear it from me in my voice. I think the difference is they've evolved with me. They trust me. I'm honest. If I'm not wearing it, I'm not selling it. I'm a maniac in product development. I hope I don't have a bad reputation in the room here. I may a little bit, but if you hand me something and it doesn't work on me and my lipstick starts coming out of here and up here, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. And I think that I just feel like you need to address the needs of who she is and how she ages. And not just her. There's Geller guys too,
Yeah.
We've got plenty of Geller guys. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I think so. So Sarah Creel, you present women in their 40s, 50s, and beyond in a very aspirational way. So what compelled you to build your brand in this way? And what did you see in the market that convinced you that this brand needed to exist in the world in this aspirational way?
Well, first of all, I love luxury. I'm just a luxury babe. I love it all, and I literally had a dream. And I woke up one morning, and it was December 5th, 2022, and I sat up in bed, and I was like, why is no one talking to me? Why is no one formulating for me, educating me, and even more importantly, reflecting me back to me in a way that I found aspirational? And I started my company that day. That was it. I was like, it is not out there in a way that I'm receiving it anyway, And so that was my mission.
Yeah.
So now you show models that are
Only 40 plus.
only 40 plus.
Yes. I only cast and hire models who are 40 plus.
Love that.
So, yeah. And I also, frankly, thank you. I also only test on women 40 to 65. because let me tell you, and I'm sure you've had this experience, Laura, but you know, the labs are like, no, it's transfer proof. It's transfer proof. And I'm like, yeah, because you're testing it on a 20-year-old. What's it going to transfer to? The air? I'm like, it is not. It is not transfer proof if you have hooded lids, you know?
Yeah, super important. So Erica, you've built an audience of over 2.3 million followers on TikTok, over
Yeah, girl.
1.9
Yeah.
million.
We're out there. We're still
Yeah.
there.
1.9 million on Instagram, mainly women over 40 who come to you to learn how to update their makeup routine. So how did you first get started as a creator, and what motivated you to start sharing your perspective online?
I just felt like no one was talking to us in a cool way. And it was like, if you saw the campaigns that were like over 40s, it was like, I'm saying, like that Elizabeth Arden vibe. You're looking at that, which is timeless, classic, but you know, not aspirational to who I am, right, as a almost 50-year-old. So I just felt like I wanted to show the do's and don'ts. So I worked with brands for years. I was a sales trainer, but I worked with your regular clients. Yes, I've done celebrities, I've done this. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the woman that hasn't had a facial in 8 months because we don't have time. The woman that maybe still has a beard, she don't know how to handle it, and, okay? And the woman that would bring her daughter in and say, she needs makeup. And I'm like, what about you? You need something too. Now, all the other makeup artists wouldn't touch the older ladies. I don't know how to do old makeup. I remember the first time I touched a lid, I was like, oh, it's different, okay. So, so I do the shadow in there, and it's gone, right? And I'm like, so now, over the river and through the hood we go. And then, I was like, all right. And then my lids, when it started happening to me, I was like, I know this. I know her. So now I am her. But it was like, I remember sitting there and like, I can do but I remember as a sales trainer, mom had the money. Mom was gonna buy for her daughter, and if you made a difference on mom, she was buying everything too. I learned that when I put concealer on her, abracadabra, right? And I was like, don't look in the mirror yet. And I would take oils, I would take balms, and I would place it on top. So I was troubleshooting, you know, as a makeup artist in the field and seeing the difference it made when someone would look in the mirror and say, oh my God, give me everything, and this is awesome. And I feel so good. And having fun playing with makeup again. Why can't we still play dress up?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's always was the best part, getting ready, right? Sitting there with a glass of wine with your friends, doing your makeup. We still do that now. So I just wanted to bring cool fun, and I think the biggest difference was seeing the visual, because I still see a lot of people, you guys look pretty good, but I still see that dated makeup. People say, no one does makeup like that. I'm like, okay, go to Ulta in Levittown and go see what's walking around. And, you know, so, and the point was, it wasn't because to make fun. It was because nobody taught us, right? So when I would do the difference, this is what you're doing now. And then I'd reveal, this is what we could do. I think that was the first, so I started the common mistakes that date the face. And it was that, holy shit, that's the same face looking modern. And I'm not saying younger, I'm just saying better.
Enhanced.
Enhanced.
So Laura, in the conversation we had to prep for this panel, you mentioned a change to packaging that you made for your customer. Can you walk me through that?
Oh, yeah. Well, who could see anymore in a regular mirror? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
No, I got a big one, yeah. I got
Yeah, I mean, so one of my initiatives is to put magnification mirrors in the compacts. So regular
Great.
and magnification.
Smart.
So we're very proud of that, because even when I open up my compact, I'm like, I can't see, let me go with a 10. So we're doing that. The other thing that we're doing is we're putting larger labels so that you don't have to put magnification on your camera and then zoom in to the lipstick to see what color lipstick it is. So we're trying to, if we can't do it on a lipstick, we're doing, I see you all taking notes in here, by the way. I mean, it's not like I'm the only one who came up with it, but, you know.
Just better do it first.
Well, I mean, we've been doing it for a long time. So larger print, color coding things. You know, I've been on QVC, next year's 30 years.
Wow.
And yeah, and by the way, the biggest game changer for me of my life, and for anybody who has brands in here, if you can do it, you should do it, because it's the only place you could really tell your story, like really tell your story. But when I go on QVC, she's watching intently and taking notes. And when I can say and show how this is going to perform, and she understands that, you know, she gets it, then she's buying. I mean, I say that all the time, but it's also being relatable. And I am her. I'm no different. I buy from QVC all the time.
So Sarah, you mentioned this earlier, but when it comes to product development, how do you approach formulating for this consumer? How do you know what she wants?
Well, when I started the brand, I mean, I have the benefit of both kind of big beauty and also startup experience. So one of the first things that I did was I did a survey of 2,000 women over the age of 40, luxury beauty shoppers in the United States. And I asked them what their issues were, and I heard loud and clear. So that actually informed my first launch, which were 7 SKUs and a brush. But generally speaking, I mean, I've been doing product development since I was 23. So that's a long time, and I've done it for a long time. I didn't even realize I was part of the problem, but I was formulating for 20-somethings, you know? And the difference is when you're formulating for somebody in their 20s, you're basically making formulas for like a rubber mat. It's bouncy, it's smooth, you know, everything kind of looks great.
Yeah.
And now I'm formulating for 40s, 50s, 60s, and on. Think about formulating like for tissue paper. And if you keep that visual in your mind, you can understand what you need to do. So the formulations have to be thin, they have to be flexible, they can't weigh things down. And that's really what I try to do. I try to, you know, make things that are also the right finish. You know, GenX in particular is very cognizant of finish. And many products are either too matte or too glossy. So you really have to hit that middle of the road, you know, to have it really all look right and natural. And then I always do the outdoor test. Because a lot of times things look great in an office.
Go to your car.
Yeah, go to your car and you're
car
like,
mirror.
Jesus. Yeah. So, you know, it's important that you really do look at everything in natural light.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, you
Or-
powder your under eye and then go to your car mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Not cute.
Terrifying.
Not cute.
Or what about you? How do you approach product development for your consumer?
Well, the truth is I listen to what people want, and I also know what I need. And I think that it's so funny because the brand, we say 30 years, but it's been around longer than that. And the funny thing is that we have 19-year-olds wearing our brand that are obsessed with it, that learned about it from their mother or their grandmother. So it's not that we're not targeting those people. They're just not seeing it in ads. They're not really being portrayed in our pictures. You know, every Friday on our website, we post real Geller gals, pictures of real Geller gals. They send them in, and we give them a gift card for, you know, giving us their picture. And also we registered, ready for this one? National Mature Women's Day, every April 9th.
Oh, nice.
Coming up, yeah.
Just a minute. National Mature Women's Day, in case you like my products and want to get them. If you're 40, you get 40 off. If you're 43, you get 43 off. If you're 70,
so
you get 70
clever.
off.
Yep.
And on and on and on, just saying. So April 9th's a very busy day for us. But I'm always thinking about me. For an example, we just launched and had a big campaign with a highlighter called Gilded Honey, and my production crew is in the back who came with us to Italy last April, Mark. And what we did was I said to my product development team, we had something called Gilded Honey, remember?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they launched it with me. And then I said, it's no longer working for me because it's showing every wrinkle on my face. So we went back to our lab in Italy and we were like, make it creamy, make it like not show my lines. And all of a sudden we cracked the code and we relaunched Gilded Honey. It's the living the life and knowing that people 19 to 90 below and beyond are gonna like it. But like you said, testing it on yourself because you're her. She needs what you're using, so.
And can I just tell you, when she launched, She invited a group
She
of
came to
creators,
Italy.
40s plus, right? That we went to Italy together, and we drank wine in the villa till 4 in the morning. But it was the coolest, realest influencer trip I've ever been on.
Oh, thank you.
Because A, you,
Oh.
and B, the over 40s, we know who we are, and we're not embarrassed to be who we are, and we were so like loving and accepting of each other. And some of these other influencer trips, I go on with the 20-year-olds, I'm like, oh my God, please, I'll stay home, thank you, send me the product, I'm good. But it was amazing. It was such a good vibe, and I've traveled with you. And I will tell you that they're my favorite creators, like brand owners. And I'm at a point saying at GenX, I don't work with brands that the owners just suck. I don't want to, I don't care, I don't have to. I worked in retail for awful people for so many years. I've been abused, and I don't want to do it anymore. And they're the real deal.
Thank you, Erica.
So, Erica, you
Thank you.
you talk to this consumer every day.
Yeah,
You're
every
on
day.
social media. So, from your experience working with brands to create content, what does your audience actually want from brands? What are they asking you for?
Information, right? And I mean, you guys are here with me. Do you care if someone's doing an unboxing, a PR unboxing? No, it's not awesome. We don't care. That's for the 20-year-olds. They want to know, what are you doing? Where am I putting it? What is it fixing? And where do I buy it? The end. That's why I get right into it. Is your concealer doing this? Zoom in, abracadabra, let's do this. So it's like, don't do this, do this. It's like, we don't want the BS. We don't want, and don't come for us just because you want the demographic. Come for us with a product that really was made and works for us. Don't give me a product and say, oh, it has hyaluronic acid, and it's like the last ingredient. And I'm like, I put it on, I look like I'm 900. You know what I mean? I don't care what the contract is for, I'm not doing it. Like, come to us with a product that really is for us, and I'm down. You know, but I think that's the biggest thing. And also, like I said, just be direct with us. We know what we're doing. We're not kids. We can't be sold to. You know, we will speak out, and just tell us what it is, where to put it, and where to buy it. Done.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think everybody's hungry for that information.
Solve a problem.
I don't care.
Solve a problem.
You're so right. I mean, it's tutorials. People are still hungering. So, like, I watch her online. If you're not following Erica, you should. And I learned a couple things about over the hood and through the, whatever you do it. I mean, I'm like, oh, I wasn't doing it that way. Let me slip that in there. You never stop learning. But I think as a brand, I'm going to tell everybody in here, if it's not you that's front facing, if you are the founder or you have a brand and you don't have somebody that could be that personality like Sarah or Erica or myself, find somebody who could.
Yeah, if you're boring, find someone else.
Find. She's a little right if you're boring.
It's true.
But it's
Who's
true.
watching?
No, but
It's totally
everybody
true.
can't be
Hire someone.
personality,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I mean, I
Hire someone with personality.
Yeah. I can't organize. I hire someone to organize my life.
Yeah.
That is true. I
I
can
just
vouch
think
for
it's
that.
important for, I think the old days are back. I think people are hungering for a front-facing person that they can trust, that's just not only a paid spokesperson, but believes in it and really can educate her demographic, that consumer. And I always say to brands when they ask me, I always say, who is that person for you? Because
It's not you. Not you. I'm kidding.
I didn't say that. She said
I'm
that.
kidding.
No, okay, that's all.
So, Sarah, in the conversation we had to prep for this panel, you talked about how the beauty industry has the narrative about aging totally backwards. So, what do you mean by that? Walk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, this whole push for anti-aging, which, by the way, in my study, women don't care about the term anti-aging.
They don't care
They're
about
like, thank
terms.
you. It's a shortcut. I now understand this product is for me. So, whatever, you know. But I just, what was your question? Sorry.
So you
We don't care about much.
you mentioned how
Oh,
the
they
beauty
got it
industry
wrong.
has a narrative backwards.
Yeah,
They got the narrative wrong.
I just feel like there's a lot of lecturing going on
Yeah.
to these generations. And I'm like, just shut up and make good stuff for them. You know? I just think, like, it's weird. It's really weird to me that the beauty industry is like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hire some people in their 40s and 50s, some women who everybody knows, and then they're going to start talking at you. I'm like, what is that? You know? So I just kind of feel like there's a general misstep happening in beauty. And I just think that there are a lot of brands that don't know what to do. And that's their solve. When what they need to do, in my opinion, is just make good shit.
And shut up.
Good shit.
I like that.
You know? I mean, just make good stuff that works.
So speaking to messaging a bit, you know, brands don't know how to talk to this consumer. They lean into menopause a lot of the time, using terms like mature.
Yeah, sexy.
So, or they try to avoid anti-aging. So do you think that this generation has reclaimed anti-aging? Are we going to see more of that happening? Do people care?
I think that's just like so narrow.
Yeah.
This is what drives me nuts. So I'm trying to portray these women like in their full life. Who are they? They are interesting, interested. It's not like they turn 40 and they never want to have sex again. I'm like, you know, it's like suddenly it becomes so freaking sterile. And you're like, what, who is that? I don't know that person. So, you know, I'm just trying to create a brand that is showing her in her entirety. And I'm just getting started.
Boom.
Just want to say, I am just getting started because there's so much to say. And you know, that's why I started this brand. I was looking at all my girlfriends, all my friends, and I was like, where are we? We are not being shown here.
That's very
So, you know, I started like with my first campaign and like she's running down the street. Like my whole brand is sort of like rushy luxury because she's, you know, she's on the move. So, you know, she started out kind of in a townhouse. My last photo shoot, which I just finished, I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say it was in a hotel.
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah, because like
She can afford it.
well, she can afford it and she wants it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Go, Sarah.
Thank you.
Hey, was it you? Were you the star of the campaign?
I'm like,
Just asking.
you just wait.
For a friend.
You just wait. It's gonna shock some people.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Yeah.
So let's talk retail. So obviously, Sarah Creel launched in Sephora in August 2024 after launching D2C. Laura Geller, you originally launched in Sephora back in 2006 and returned to the retailer recently.
That's right.
So where do you see this consumer buying beauty today? Where is she shopping? Where is she discovering?
I think where she gets the most information. I mean, for us, it's Laura Geller site. I mean,
That's
we
your biggest
have,
channel?
that's where they come to first and foremost. Amazon, and then we're in Sephora and Ulta. We're everywhere, right, guys? Oh, we know where, I mean, yeah, we're everywhere. But, you know, I think when they come to Laura Geller, they really get a lot of knowledge and a good deal. So they come first to us. Listen, I did brick and mortar. I mean, respectfully, I couldn't tell my story. I would walk into Sephora and go into panic when I got to my gondola and I saw empty spots and dirty makeup, and it was not good. And they would talk, oh, she's here in the store, and we got to clean up that gondola. But I mean, so for us, it's like we really have a way of communicating that, you know, through D2C that works for us. That's really works for our model. Yeah, I could say a lot about that, but maybe some of them are in the room. I'm sorry.
So Erica, where are your audience? Where are they buying beauty? What are you?
You know, I think both. I think we will buy if something's cool. We'll hit that TikTok shop. We'll do the Amazon. I'm like at home drinking wine, like done. I'm like, what was PR and what did I actually buy? I don't even know. But I think also Sephora. I think I come from retail world, right? So there's not a store on the Northeast that I will go into that I probably haven't worked with somebody. I've worked in every retailer from Penny's to Neiman Marcus, Ulta, Sephora, Blue Mercury, Independence, you name it, I've worked them all highs and lows. And I think we still like to shop and touch things, right? We do like to buy online and we'll replenish. I like to play, I like to go in, I like to see things. So I would say we don't shop as much in the department stores for makeup anymore. Do you guys agree? You don't want to go to the counter because they only try to sell you one thing, right? And you want to do everything. So I feel like a little Nordstrom, a little this, but we'll pick something up. I think we shop in Sephora, and I think we shop in Ulta's. You know, Ulta's, you can do the high-lows. Sephora's, I have friends in retail still that will tell me, they come in with a list and say, Erica said, give me this, 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 and this, done. They don't want anyone to help them. They're like, no, 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 Erica said this, this, and this, and just give us this. But we do like to be in store. I like to shop in store, I still do, right? That's the consensus. But,
Sarah, what about you?
Yeah, I think in store for sure. But I think the craving for education is so strong that on my own site, I do a lot of tutorials and explain things. And so we have really good traffic there. But, you know, she's very sophisticated. Like the idea that she's not technologically advanced is like so old news. That's one thing. The other thing is a lot of people don't realize, but 50% of millennials will be 40 in 2028.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, like it's coming, people. It's coming.
Yeah, you can't run away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I think
millennials
that,
are
you know, you're not going to train 20-somethings, 30-somethings who have been shopping in Sephora or Ulta their whole lives. All of a sudden, they're not going to be like, I think I'll go to Neiman Marcus today.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
yeah, the millennials.
So, you know, so we need to make sure we've got the products that they need in these stores.
Yeah, millennials didn't department store shop. Their moms did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I will say, being on QVC has really taught me that I'm just going to go there. She's not always so sophisticated. She may live in an area where she doesn't have access to Sephora and Ulta. She may never have worn makeup before and doesn't even know where to start. She may never have dyed her hair before. And she may not be busy. And so I'm always mindful when I'm creating a product that when they receive that product, you hope that they can't make a mistake with it. That no matter what they do with it, they're going to look better. Not on everything, but you try. And I'm always mindful when I'm on air to say, I don't always say, I know we all have busy lives, because we don't all have busy lives. And she may be at home and not doing anything and really going through a rough time. And I'm there to try to make sure she knows that our brand is approachable beauty. And it's her birthright to have it. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And who we've been talking to for a lot of years. It's not always the sophisticated beauty consumer. She's just not always there.
And you're right about having time, because there's some people on social media, I have the regulars, and they just will comment every single day, and I engage with them, and they chat, and it makes them feel like they got some friends.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm like, are you hitting the sauce today? I'm like, Phyllis, you're getting a little fresh today.
I have
I'm
one
gonna
of those.
forgive you. Yeah, there's a few.
Yep.
But they feel like they have friends. Like you said, there are people that are lonely, that social media and these things are like their outlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you all were advising beauty brands in the room today who want to better serve this customer, where should they start? Laura?
You mean the Gen
Like
X?
other, yeah, if they
boomers?
want to just be more inclusive to this and reach out to this.
I mean, I think there's a lot more choices today, and there's going to be a lot more choices. I think you have to start with speaking to her, whether it's through, it may not be a person that's front-facing, but it may be a product that resonates with her, that she tries, likes, and now trusts, and she comes back to see what else you have to offer because she understood it. You know, we have products that are 2 decades old that we have never changed the formula. It's the stickiness to our brand. It's what brings her into the newer things that we do. But she trusts it because she's been using it for over 2 decades. So I think it has to be that you start with a product that delivers, like Sarah said. Just make shit that works and not a bunch of fluff.
And don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
Because that is some bullshit. You know what I mean? You're putting the before and afters, and then all of a sudden you go from 90 to 12, and you're like, you don't need tox, because they're not allowed to say Botox. Don't need tox. This is tox. No, Botox is Botox, and skincare is skincare. You can do a combo platter like diet and exercise. But don't say that this is going to do this, and then it doesn't, because that's you're gonna get returns. It's not gonna be longevity. It's not long term. So don't come after us just because you want the demographic without the real shit that works.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
A lot of times they get it and they don't know how to use it. And then that's when I get on late at night. I'm like, did you put a little spackle under it? You know, because sometimes they're not getting the finish of what they want and they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So it's important to be reading those reviews and hearing those comments. And P.S., it may not be the right product for them, but then you have other offerings. And can I just talk to the skincare community? Because I'm her at home. I mean, I'm going to just tell you guys are killing it and innovative and unbelievable. But some of those things, I get those boxes. I'm like, what is this language? And I don't understand. Is this a serum, a moisturizer, an oil? When do I use it? What happened to cleanser, toner, moisturizer? I mean, I'm lost.
One, two, three.
I'm just going to say that's my pain point is sometimes I don't even understand what I'm getting. So, like, break it down, keep it simple, stupid. That's it.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have time for maybe a couple questions. We have one over here. If we can get a mic runner, we have one over there. Sorry,
How
Natasha.
about the lady in the second row?
Yeah, she's right here. Natasha.
The president of CEW is in the house, everybody.
Yes.
Wow.
And if you haven't joined CEW, please join.
Thank you, Laura, who is a new board member and an achiever. Laura, you have a lot of founders in the room, and you've said, rightly so, you've been doing this a long time. I'm not going to ask you for words of advice, but I want you to tell founders a secret about your resiliency and how you heard the word no, and that's not what we want to do, and no again and again and again, and stayed in the game. You know, give people hope.
Some medication. Not gonna lie. It helps. I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't on it. I don't know. So some medication helps, but also believing in your product and really giving a shit about your customer. Like if you really care about her and know what she wants because you are her in a way, you want the same things you're giving to her, then you should not stray from your beliefs because Alana's right. A lot of people fought me. I mean, I will write the book one day, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And
Can't wait.
a lot of people didn't see my vision and maybe thought, you know, she's aged out and I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm having a second coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joey and Ralph. They believe in me. They believe in me and they back what I do and they listen to what I want to do. And I think that's the other thing. If you're private equity, listen to your founders. They have so much to impart. They only want the brand to be successful. They're on your side. And so, you know, just keep your ears open. You know, if you have a beef, you can share it. And if you're right, you know, but listen to the founders that really shape the world of beauty today.
I'm just going to jump in since you brought up the word book.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a book out right now that will be available for pre-sale, launching next month. Do's and don'ts.
Yes.
All the before and afters, looking weird, not weird. Boom.
Love it.
You get a lot of notes
a good
too.
book.
Both of you.
Yeah.
You've got.
We have time for maybe one more question. I see someone in the back with their hand raised.
I don't know. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much. This is an excellent panel, and all I can think of is many faces of a woman, and that's what I'm seeing also on this panel. But my question is for Laura, because one, I'm your customer.
Good.
I've been using your loose press powder for probably since it was invented, and one of the few that continues to make a great product. You were on QVC. I was a little surprised because that's not where I would learn of you. So thank you for keeping that, momentum. What do you think of live streaming? Is that something that you've considered? And then this is not a question, but I appreciate the insight you had that not everyone is busy, because we do think of like these major urban hubs as like the woman, and that's not the case. And so you're reaching a much broader demographic that I feel like people don't understand. and you do. So the live streaming part is my question for you.
Yeah, no, I think live streaming is the way to go right now. And by the way, it's such a good opportunity for every brand. I have brands that, talk to me and ask me for help, and I'm always like, are you doing TikTok Shop? Are you doing Amazon Live? We do it for hours on a day. I mean, daily. And if you're small and you're trying to get it out there and you have a story to tell, stream. By the way, I'm not a TikTok person myself. Recently, I went on and I found myself in a room with a TikTok affiliate selling my stuff. And I was like, oh, how did I get in here? And then she's like, Laura Geller's here. I'm like, how does she know I'm in here? I'm like, how do I hide now? And if I just get off, will she know that? Like,
Well, when you go live, she just talks to everybody, and I'll be live with her, and back to her eyebrow that she's launching.
yeah.
So
I know.
she just wants.
Oh,
she's
no,
like,
she has to
She
bring
reads
me
all
back.
the comments. I'm like, and Laura has a new product out. She's just answering all the questions, talking to everybody, having the best time.
Medication, it helps. Bring me back. But no, live streaming in answer to your question, by the way,
Do it.
does everybody follow Gary Vaynerchuk? I mean, he talked about QVC before QVC was a thing. He's a good friend. And I will tell you that if you're not doing it, you're missing a segment of people. It's just the best way. You're not going to make a lot of money at it today, but you will start. It starts to bring momentum.
Everyone, thank you so much. Round of applause for amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.